All right, Jesse on Fire, welcome back to the channel. So let's talk about Nate Diaz. Nate Diaz coming back, 155, son. Woo! What do you think that's about? I can tell you exactly what it's about. Ready? Who's it about? What's it about? Conor. It's about Conor, okay? It's about Conor. So there have actually been a couple developments in the last couple days that could potentially tell us a story about Khabib. I don't know, so I don't want to say for sure one way or the other, but there's some, I don't know. I mean, it's nothing really solid, but a couple things that happened that made me go, I really hope this is not going to go the wrong way, and I really hope Khabib fights Conor. But anyway, if you like the content, subscribe and ring the bell so you know every time I upload these bomb-ass videos, which is all the time, okay? Every video I upload is awesome. You can just go down one by one and be like, wow. It's as if this guy could talk about anything, and it's super good. Or you'll be like, God, this guy's an imbecile. But I find him relatively entertaining. Those are the only two options. Either every video is good, or this guy's an entertaining imbecile. So, there's that. How many people do you know that carry a knife like that and just put it on the table? Not very many. Anyway, so let's talk about Nate Diaz, Conor McGregor, Khabib. Okay, so a couple, and listen, I'm going to be perfectly honest. It's very possible that I'm looking at literally any piece of information as somehow playing into whether or not Conor's going to fight Khabib because I want it to happen so bad. I have visualized the moment that those two square off, nose to nose, ice, fire, and ice. And I'm like, please, if there's a God in heaven, can you please just make that fight happen? But, so maybe these things are playing in and maybe not. But like, as an example, Conor made a quote that he said that he's not surprised that Khabib would scurry away into retirement, okay? So I don't know if that means that Khabib told Dana that he's not going to fight, and then now Conor knows that, and that's Conor commenting on it, or if he's trying to bait Khabib into coming back out to fight him, right? I mean, it could mean one of two things. But that being so close in proximity to them saying, Nate Diaz coming back at 155, I was like, oh, I mean, again, the two things could be totally unrelated, but I do think that Nate Diaz coming back at 155 has a direct implication on a third, on a rubber match with Conor, and it potentially being for the belt, right? Like, so think about this. Like, I think that what Dana's doing is he's looking at, I would almost say for sure what Dana's doing is this. I think Dana is looking at this like, he's like, I have Conor focused, okay? I am only going to have so many fights with Conor that are going to be big fights, and with him focused like this, I need to cram them in, and they all need to be big fights. So right now, you've got the Dustin fight, then you maybe have a Khabib rematch, right? At some point, you're going to do Nate Diaz. Now, imagine if Conor has the belt, Nate Diaz gets a win, and then you could have Nate Diaz fight Conor for the 155-pound title in a rubber match. That is almost as big as the Khabib rematch. Almost. If Nate gets a win. But Nate needs a win at 155. But I guarantee you that is all about setting up a fight with Conor that would potentially be a rubber match. It's just like, you can't control the outcomes of the fights, but you can set the chessboard, right? That's why you have Conor fight Dustin Poirier, because most likely Conor's going to beat him because it's a very favorable matchup. So when you see who Nate Diaz gets matched up against, bet your life that is who they think is the most likely for him to beat. I mean, straight up, right? Whoever he gets set up with is going to be the person that's in the top 6 that they think is most likely for Nate Diaz to beat. Okay. Now, because it's Nate Diaz, they will be able to get away with giving him a title shot, even if he doesn't really deserve it, because as long as Conor has the belt, just because ultimately this is a fight game, man. People want to see the fights they want to see, and that's what really dictates who gets title shots. So, that's what I think is going on. Also, think about it like, so man, I'm trying to think of who they can match him up with that he matches up well against, because they already said it wouldn't be against Tony Ferguson, because that would have been really exciting, right? Nate against Tony Ferguson, that would be a fire matchup. However, it's not a great matchup for Nate because they have the exact same strengths, right? Both of them can get hit 1,000 times and keep coming forward. So it's a pretty risky fight for Nate. But if Nate fights Tony Ferguson beats Nate, then Tony Ferguson coming off a win, right? So there's that. But, Nate against Dan Hooker, I really don't like that matchup for him because Dan Hooker has great reach. Nate Diaz against Dustin Poirier, god damn, I could get down with that fight. Oh, man. I could get down with that fight, son. If Dustin loses, okay, as a matter of fact, that might be what this is, okay? Conor beats Dustin, Dustin fights Nate. That would be bananas. You want to see Nate versus Dustin Poirier? Fuck yeah, I do. Fuck yeah, I do. Nate against Justin Gaethje, that would be not a good matchup for Nate. He would pulverize Nate's legs. Pulverize his legs. But Nate might be able to weather the storm and keep coming. But I just don't think he'll ever be able to get it to the ground. And I don't think Gaethje will run out of gas. I think it would look very similar to the Tony Ferguson fight, actually. If Nate was to fight Justin Gaethje, probably. Michael Chandler, I got to see him fight first. Charles Oliveira, that's a weird matchup. Because they'll nullify each other on the ground. And on the feet, it's an interesting match, actually. That's actually a pretty interesting match. Charles Oliveira against Nate Diaz. But I don't think you're going to go outside the top 6 because, you know, they're going to want to set Nate up for a title shot because Nate's a needle mover. Nate is a superstar. So, yeah. I don't really know what else to say about that other than I really hope that Khabib fights. I love Khabib. And I love Conor. And I really hope Conor knocks Dustin around. And then I would love to see Dustin fight Nate. And I love everybody, man. I have nothing but respect for people who get in the octagon and fight. So if if anybody who listens to me talking, if it ever sounds like I'm hating on a fighter, you are not listening well, okay? Just because I say I think a fighter is going to beat another fighter, if that makes you think like, oh, I don't like that guy, you're out of your mind. There are actually no fighters that I dislike. I don't think. Let me think about that. I mean, there are fighters where I could just watch them. I'm kind of like, I don't know if I would get along with that guy. So I don't find myself like passionately rooting for them. But I don't have any fighters I dislike. None. I have fighters I really like, and then fighters that I love, and then fighters that I have nothing but respect for. So that's my life. I'm just such a positive guy. I think that's what it is. I think I'm just such a positive guy where all these people are hating, son. Why you gotta be hating? Well, because I'm a hater. Said the other guy, not me. Anyway, so this channel's doing really well lately. Thank you guys. You know, it was kind of stagnant. You know what I realized though? It's because I was slacking off. That's why. I was slacking off. I was doing more Jesse on Everything, which by the way, everyone should move their ass over to Jesse on Everything and look at the video that I actually have 2 videos for Jesse on Everything today. So you guys are in luck. I don't think I've ever done 2 videos in one day on Jesse on Everything, but I think I'm going to do that today. So everybody's going to get a treat. One is about the sorriest girls on earth. Literally, the sorriest girls in history. Which were, actually I'm not even going to tell you. Yeah, I will. They're the groupies of the Night Stalker. Okay, I just watched the Night Stalker documentary. I did a video about the Night Stalker and how pathetic the girls who are his groupies are. And then I did a video about the first time I learned I couldn't trust the media, which is definitely nonpartisan. It is a nonpartisan video about the most blatant misrepresentation of a news story I've ever seen in my life and how I got to actually confront the newsroom person that put it together and how they hung up on me like a pussy ass bitch. Anyway, but yeah, so should I talk about some random shit? You guys like that? Look at this. Scotch tape. You know what I mean? You know what I use this for? Taping shit, son. I tape boxes and I put them in the mailbox and then I mail shit. People are like, damn, did you just send me a package? And they open it and it's got my stuff in it, Bliss X. Oh, I will tell you this. If you guys want some bomb ass energy, like, oh God, Jesse, why are you always so energetic? It's because I drink my wife's Happy Coffee, which is like, you know, nootropic coffee. It's like coffee with drugs in it, right? Like legal drugs, but like coffee and drugs is what it is, but not really drugs. Okay. Like if you guys are like straight edge, it's not really drugs, but it's the kind of thing that'll take you from being like cool to being me. Right. So go to Gabrielle's Instagram. She has all kinds of shit about it. Her Instagram is Gabrielle Carolyn, I think. I'll show you so you guys can find it. And then you can look at her Happy Coffee. You can ping her. You guys, I'll even allow you to DM her without murdering you guys. Like, I'm going to give you guys that privilege. You can DM my wife, but if you DM her any creep shit like, I want to see your panties, I will find you and I will dismember you, right? I mean, not really, but like maybe, you know. This dude sent her you should see some of the shit that people send her. It's unreal, dude. This guy, so like, you know, she does like reels, right? Like, this is her. Okay. So that's the one you're looking for. So she does these reels, and this guy, like some of these guys are just creeps, man. They send her like DMs that like, and they'll like hit her up over and over and over. And she did this new reel, and this guy had sent her like 6 messages in a row without her responding. And he sent her one yesterday where he was like, I don't understand how your husband looks at you in those spandex and doesn't just get right in between those cheeks. And I told her, I was like, dude, you should have wrote back, my husband does get in between these cheeks like at least twice a day. And she's like, I did actually almost write that back, but I just blocked him instead. And I was like, dude, let's unblock him. Let me talk to him and pretend I'm you. She's like, yeah, no, we're not doing that, because that would have been so fun, man. I love fucking with creeps online. I might even create a second. No, I'm not going to do that. But I do like fucking with people because they deserve it and they're morons, right? I want to get in between those cheeks. Who the hell would fucking, like, is that ever going to work? Oh, this other, I forgot, this other fucking idiot. This guy wrote, so my wife is literally selling coffee on there, right? Like she's like selling the shit that she sells. This fucking guy hit her up like pretending like he wanted to like, inquire about the coffee, and she's like responding back with the coffee stuff. And then he was like, and then all of a sudden, like out of nowhere, he wrote her a paragraph this big, was like, hey, so I'm married too. And I'm not looking for anything like overt, but maybe like a little bit of flirting, like a little bit of like online flirting and blah, blah. Except it was fucking this long. And she showed it to me. She's like, look at this guy. And I looked, I was like, why would he even think you would read a thing this long? And then I looked at, her response just obliterated him. But she's really good at that. Like she seems really innocent, but she's actually really good at sniffing out creeps. And then she shows me, and then I laugh, and then I'm like, if he gets too disrespectful, let's find his address, and then I'll decapitate him. Kidding, but not really. But no, I actually am not kidding. You guys really can DM her. Just don't ask to, don't say shit about me getting in between her cheeks. Just take it from me. I do that all the fucking time. Okay, you don't need to ask. That happens. Okay. Anyway, if you like the content, subscribe or ring the bell. Tell your friends. Happy Coffee is the bomb. Peace.